Hey, this is Eddie Olczyk. You're listening to Empty Betters with Nick, Mac, and Harrison.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to episode 93 of Empty Betters. I'm your host, Harrison Scholes. I'm going to toss it across the screen to my co-host, Nick Manella. How we doing, buddy?
Doing well, man. It has been a wild last couple of weeks, but I'm glad that we are finally back to doing what we love, which is making these podcasts. So, yeah, another day in paradise.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a 2 week span for me personally. I know for us, we've had a lot of stuff going on as well. And I'm going to toss it across the screen to my other co-host, Mac Vogel. How we doing, buddy?
Doing well. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of in full fall mode at this point. I also thought I'd bring back the jersey look for the episode just because, it feels like a fall thing. We're getting ready to start hockey again. I've got my little bit of iced coffee with some spiced rum in it. Just really leaning into this fall thing. I mean, after all, it is Wisconsin and it is literally like 60 degrees already, like every day. So, yeah, it's fall.
I gotta admit, I'm a little bit jealous. I know I'll regret saying that once it gets cold out again, but it feels like it's been humid for the last like 5 months, and finally
it really has in Maryland been humid for the last 5 months.
We're getting a taste of some brisk evenings, so that's nice. I would like to apologize if my voice sounds a little hoarse. We're 2 days removed now from the best game of Lamar Jackson's career, in which I was there live, so I lost my voice completely. Luckily, got it back for today as we booked a couple of big interview guests. Those will be coming to you guys in the coming weeks. But before we get into the episode, we do want to say that Zach Fucale is our guest for this episode. He joined us probably, God, I don't know, 2 months ago, maybe at this point. It's been a little bit.
I can't do time anymore, dude.
Yeah, it was a while ago. We booked him earlier in the summer. So we talked about, last season, this upcoming season. Obviously, we got training camp starting next week. So he's up in DC for that. Wishing the best of luck to him. And I think since we last spoke, there were a couple things that went down with the golf tournament. We went to a NASCAR race. We'll recap all that real quick, but I'm going to toss it to Mac for the question of the day.
All right, so this one's kind of specific. I feel like, maybe some of our listeners will be able to answer this question on their own, but I figure at least us three should have an answer for this question. And it goes with kind of what I was saying. It's fall. We got hockey coming back soon. Football just started. And obviously for hockey fans like us, and pretty much everybody's a football fan of some kind, I think football and hockey kind of go hand in hand in that way where the seasons kind of run together. The two are associated with each other because they're played in the same time of year. So my question to you two is, what is a favorite, or your number one favorite, if you can think of it? What's a favorite intersecting hockey and football memory? Now, you could go a lot of ways with this, whether it's like, one example I'll give real quick is like, I can think of a handful of times where I had the fortunate opportunity to play in like a youth hockey game, like when I was in high school or middle school, in the morning, and then book it out of there to go like make it to the like nighttime Ravens game or something like that. So I don't know, maybe it's too specific, but does anything come to mind for either of you?
Yep, I got one. Snowmageddon 2009. If you're outside Maryland or the East Coast, that was just like a massive snowstorm that we got. Where I currently am, I think we had like close to like a foot and a half, and then it iced over on top of it. So no one was going anywhere. Everyone in my neighborhood was without power, and it was Super Bowl Sunday. And of course, as you guys will remember from watching, the NHL and NBC growing up, what two teams always played on Super Bowl Sunday? It was the Caps and the Penguins. So there was one house in our neighborhood that had power and cable and everything. And fortunately, they were very, very close friends of ours. So I actually walked, probably what's like 200 yards from my house to theirs to not only watch the Super Bowl, but watch this hockey game that's on at noon. I went over there at noon and didn't leave until after the Super Bowl. And it took me probably an hour to walk those 200 yards, like through the snow.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if I have a personal like hockey memory for myself, but I know that I think it was like probably 2016 or 17. There was like an epic game between Caps Pens. I think it was like a 6-5 or 8-7 finish. I can't really remember specifically, but it was the same day as the Super Bowl. I feel like they always get paired up on Super Bowl Sunday, but I don't know. I can't really think of anything totally specific. And maybe I'm kind of weird, but I always think of basketball with hockey because the playoffs are the kind of the same time, 82 game seasons, but
I
Super
mean,
Bowl
yeah,
Sunday
those
always.
2 seasons definitely go like much more like same timeline. But what I always kind of liked about the hockey and football intersection is like hockey is in full swing of like regular season right as football is getting to playoffs. So you're watching like meaningful hockey because it's to the point of the season where teams need to start like not losing game. Like, you can start to see which teams can't really afford to lose more and stuff like that. And then, game's over and you flip it to Sunday night football or whatever.
Plus, like late December, you get like that like nice little like 2 week period when there's football games on Saturday and Sunday, and then there's like 3 hockey games on during the week. So it's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You're just glued to the TV.
Exactly. I also like it when all the NHL games on like Sundays are all like
During the day.
exactly because they
Yeah.
know everybody's gonna want to watch Sunday night football. So like you'll see those day games, although the Caps always play like dog shit in those games.
They do.
That's besides the point.
Another thing, just going off of football and fall, I love like dragging like your TV or your projector like outside on the deck and just like posting up out there and watching football outside on Sundays. I think that's one of the best things you can do with your time.
That is a move. Get a little like bonfire going off to the
Yeah.
side too.
You
Maybe a
know,
little cornhole.
Shit, what was I gonna say? I can't remember now. I mean, we did do a hockey tailgate for a hockey podcast tailgate at a football game
We
2 years
did.
ago, so that kind of intersects there. But
That definitely counts.
so this is related to football, but not really the conversation. So obviously the Ravens just beat the Chiefs this past Sunday. A lot of our listeners are Ravens fans, so an absolutely huge game. And one of our buddies, Cam Schaefer, fellow friend of the podcast, and I guess intern/security guard when we need him, he has a roommate who likes to throw around the money a little bit. So we were talking all week, and we both lost pretty big on the Ravens on Monday night against the Raiders. So that was not fun to pay up to. So he's telling me, he's like, what are you thinking this weekend? Like, I don't know. Like, I love betting football. And I said, honestly, with the way the Ravens played against the Raiders, I would hammer the Chiefs. They were 3.5-point favorites. They're Mahomes, kryptonite, whole storyline. I said, and here's how you got to look at it. If the Ravens win, you pay, $100 to $200 to watch the Ravens win. Just think of it that way, right? And he's like, okay, like I kind of buy that. Well, me being me, I was in New York all weekend. I was on a complete bender, and I didn't bet it because I just didn't have time. But he ends up betting it like heavy. And obviously the Ravens win. And he looked at me after the game. He said, that was the best $200 I've ever spent. He's like, I'm not even mad. I was like, yeah. So it just kind of goes back to like, people hedging their happiness with sports betting, which sounds so psychologically dumb.
Which I think is a complete psycho move, because either way, you're going to be pissed off about something.
But he like wasn't pissed, and like I looked at it, I was like, I'd lose $250 to watch that game. Like, I don't care. Like,
yeah, I did, but Ticketmaster took it.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Right.
I don't know. I kind of like the hedge the happiness stuff, so I thought that was kind of a fun story. As we get closer to the season when we're going to be dishing out more picks and stuff, I might start hedging my happiness a little more. I'll be honest with you.
I've definitely done it in the past, and then I had to be like, why do I even do this to myself?
The real winners are the people that spent the $250 on the tickets, went to the game, bet the Ravens, and won the
And
money
made it all back. Yeah.
Free game. Perfect.
I think his family has season tickets, so I'm not really sure that's too much of an issue, but
There we go.
nonetheless, I understand what you're saying. So before we get into the news, just want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Brackish Life. Let's take a little minute to talk about Brackish Life. If you're like us and grew up in the water and outdoors, then Brackish Life is perfect for you. They have a wide selection of gear from UV shirts to hoodies and hats. It's Real Bay apparel made by Real Bay people. Head to www.brackish.life today to check them out. A little salty, a little fresh, Brackish Life. I do want to add, I didn't even have that ad read pulled up until about the last sentence. So
Did you really? That's really impressive.
Yeah, I was clicking through. I was like, oh shit.
Especially for like 2 weeks off and just hopping back into it.
I know it's like ingrained in me. So that tells you how many times we've been doing this, and we appreciate Brackish Life for all their support. Honestly, some of the comfiest gear in the game. I say it all the time. If you haven't checked them out, go to www.brackish.life. You can also find their link at the bottom of our homepage on our website. Fun fact. So before we get into the NHL news, it is worth noting us three got to hang out for once all together about 2 weeks ago.
Couple times actually.
Yeah, we went down to Richmond, Virginia to watch a NASCAR race. That was pretty interesting. I can't say everything that happened down there on air, so we're going to leave it at that. But
whatever you think happened with this group at a NASCAR race happened.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that.
And maybe times two that, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's so we did that from we did that Friday night into Saturday, drove home Sunday, recovered Sunday, and then on Monday we had the Laughlin Family Foundation golf tournament, which honestly was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. I don't know about you guys, but just talk about what your experience was like there.
I had a blast. I mean, can't say thank you or enough good things about the entire Laughlin family. They did such a great job of making sure we had everything we needed and, constantly checking in on us throughout the day, spending time with us, introducing us to other people. I mean, they're the best of the best, and it was for a great cause. And I'm so glad we got to do that.
Yeah, I got to echo what Nick said. I mean, Courtney especially was just running around. I swear there was 4 of her there that day, because I don't know how else she managed to get everybody what they needed and really do a good job organizing all that. I don't know how she does it, but she did a great job.
I know. I felt bad every time we had a question for her, because I'm sure she's had it asked 8 other 100 times in the last 5 minutes.
And then remember early on in the day, we were the ones stressed out. We're on the whole, we're are we set up in the right spot? It's good, whatever. Why aren't people coming to stop and talk? And then out of nowhere, she rolls up on a golf tournament on a golf cart with a vodka crush, and she's make sure you guys are having fun and having some drinks, by the way. And we're God damn it, what are we so
which were free, by the way.
Yeah, which we later
and phenomenal.
Yeah.
A huge shout out to Courtney. For sure helped us through all of that. During the day, we posted up at the 17th hole on a par 3, kind of had our little table stand selling the t-shirts, donating to the foundation. So thank you to all who purchased. Joe B, who, you might be hearing from in a couple of weeks. So I'll leave it at that. Had a great shot, right down the middle, got on the fairway or got on the green, I believe. So
he literally drove it right onto the green and then just tapped it in. Nice little birdie on a par 3.
It was looking good on there. We saw John Walton. Obviously, Craig was having a real good time. And then after that, we went to the happy hour and the banquet, where we got to get introduced to Garnet Hathaway and Nick Dowd. So that was pretty cool. Very cool guys. Got to chat with them just one-on-one for 15, 20 minutes. Hopefully we can get them on the podcast in the future. That's one of the goals here. So we'll see. But shout out to them for taking the time to talk to us. And the food was phenomenal. I can't remember, what was it
that prime rib? Yeah.
Prime rib. Yeah. It was really, really good. Couple pictures with, the crew, Joe B and all them. The hospitality was great. So we appreciate them having us. And I can't say enough good things about just that family in general.
If you had to pick a highlight from that day, what was the coolest moment for each of you?
Coolest moment. I mean, watching Garnet sign our shirts was pretty cool, just because it was okay, we came up with this idea, we ran it by the Laughlins, they signed up, from design reviews to quantities, ordering, getting designs approved, blah blah. It was a 2 to 3 month process to get start to finish, and then to finally see the t-shirts on the table getting signed by him, it felt like it finally came full circle. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I'd say mine's a tie between 2. One was just kind of the general outpouring of support that we saw, just from how many times there was a foursome that finished the hole, came over and said, we'll take 4 shirts. And right away, it was just, supporting us, supporting the foundation, and just, giving back. That was really cool to see. But then another for me was just having a chance to kind of talk to Nick Dowd a bit. And he's always, he's been one of my favorite players the last couple of years for the Caps. So it's been cool. It was cool talking to him, and something that he said that made me real happy was just kind of commenting on the fact that he thinks my dad is a real professional and just that he does a great job at what he does. That kind of made me proud to hear. So
Yeah,
that was pretty cool for me as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think for me, it's just watching Craig all day long. I mean, he was, he was
he was having a good time.
He was having a good time. He was in his element. He was bopping around. You could hear him 2 holes away, and he's just hysterical. So
his energy is straight up contagious.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I was telling my mom, some of our parents got to come. Shout out also, Nick, to your girlfriend, complete rock star and MVP for the day. Thank you, Ari.
Big shout out.
Social media queen.
Best saleswoman
Seriously. Yeah.
And also shout out to our buddy Cam. Obviously he came and helped take some social media content, pass out shirts, blah, blah, blah. So we appreciate his help as well. Hopefully, apparently it's gonna be an annual thing. So maybe if we're back there next year, who knows, we'll be there, and we're looking forward to it. So enough about us. We're going to get on to the little bit of league news that we have here. Not much since we last spoke, surprisingly. I think the biggest news is that the NHL has confirmed that its players are heading back to the Olympics in Beijing in 2022. Was contingent on the NHL and NHLPA reaching a deal with the International Ice Hockey Federation and the International Olympic Committee. Those talks are never easy, but we got it done. We are going back to the Olympics. I am so freaking excited. I can't even put it into words.
It'll just be great to have every team have professional athletes there and not just Russia this time.
Yeah, well, I think just with all we've been through in the last couple of years, and they didn't get to go last time, it just feels right. We're going to have Crosby, McKinnon, McDavid on the same team, which is just insane. We're going to have Matthews and Kane on the same team, which is also insane. Sweden's so stacked. Every team's going to be good, obviously.
Don't sleep on that Finnish team, man.
Don't sleep on the Finns either. And I think the best part is just, the time change. You wake up at 6 a.m. You get to watch. It's the coolest thing. It really is.
So excited for that. That's the best stuff.
Morning drinking.
Or staying up all night and continuing to drink from the night before.
So we will be having that, in February, I think it is?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, this is so cool because we haven't really had an international best on best since Sochi, which
the World Cup was the World Cup.
Oh, the World Cup in 2016. Yeah.
By the way, I loved that. I loved
Same.
I thought that was
awesome.
Fun. So
this will be good though, because I just think that the gap has closed so much. I mean, obviously Canada still leaps and bounds talent wise ahead of everyone else. But if you look at the American
other gaps,
you look at the American roster, you look at the Swedish roster, the Finnish roster, the German roster.
Yeah, they're all right there for sure.
And even though Canada's absolutely stacked, which we already knew they would be, I don't feel like the gap between them and let's say Finland is as great as it used to be. It seems like the other countries are starting to pick up some steam. So
yeah, now Canada will only beat Finland 9-0 instead of 16.
Yeah, right. I mean, it is actually, when you think about it, kind of insane that Steven Stamkos is going to be a fourth line center,
or might not make the team
if he's
or he might be an extra forward, or Matt Barzal might get scratched. I mean, it's just absolutely insane to think about.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it will be a fun time. Some other news: Sidney Crosby will likely miss the first, I'd say, around month of the season, recovering from wrist surgery. He had the procedure done about 2 to 3 weeks ago for a nagging injury that's been bothering him for a couple of years now. So unfortunately, the decision was made that he's going to have to get surgery a little closer to the season than they would have wanted, but he's probably going to be out for about a month or such. So I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of cry, but
how are you? I was going to say, how are you?
Yeah.
Doing?
Is this another one of those let's panic way too early Penguins moments, or?
No.
Throwback to Harry's blog last year.
Day one overreaction.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to kind of suck a little bit, but especially with Gino out the first month too, he's going to be out even longer. But I don't know. I got very high expectations for Tristan Jarry this year. I know a lot of people have poo-pooed him after this latest playoff run, and rightfully so, but I think he's got a lot of talent. He's shown some really good glimpses of excellence, and I think for a month, I think he can carry us.
Who steps up? Who steps up in Crosby's absence? I was going to say.
Well, it's going to be Jeff Carter is going to be first line center. So,
okay.
If this was 2011, I'd be a little more excited about that.
I was going to say, that's crazy. It's the year 2021, and Jeff Carter is finding himself in the number one center role for the Pittsburgh Penguins of all things. Like, what crazy events had to transpire to get that man to where he's at right now? That's kind of crazy, but I think he's more than capable. Honestly, he played great for you guys after you picked him up last year.
Yeah, I know he did. So we'll see what happens, but some other news, the Canucks are working on getting Hughes and Pettersson bridge deals before the start of the year. It started off with trying to get long-term extensions. Now we're talking bridge deals. So, I'm not, a newsbreaker or media member, but 1 + 1 = 2. It sounds like there's some disagreements on term, AAV, all that good stuff. So we'll see what happens if they can't get something done before the start of the season. I think it puts the pressure on the Canucks, honestly.
It does. What I've seen is that, yeah, they're sort of like far apart in what they want, but it's not in like a hostile or upset way. Everyone's still just like, this is way early on. Like, we'll figure it out. It doesn't have to be done right now. But I do agree that the longer they let it go, the more the pressure starts to ramp up. And we know Hughes is going to have to be paid based on what every other defenseman that's around his caliber got paid. So
yeah, he's going to be in that $8 to $9 million range, I'd say. So
yeah.
And God knows what Pettersson will get. So
honestly, they both could be in that $8 to $9 million range.
Yeah, I think that's probably accurate. Sabres captain Jack Eichel will travel to Buffalo for his pre-training camp physical this week. I don't really think I can even fathom what is going to happen at this point. I mean, this has dragged on for so long. Is he getting surgery? Is he not? If he does, he might not play in the Olympics. Is he going to get traded? Is he not? I mean, he's got a new agent now, who's good friends with Bergevin up in Montreal. So I have no idea what to say about this anymore. I can't even speculate.
The whole thing is a mess at this point. I mean, God knows what's going to happen. Just like you said, I still am for get surgery now, like right now, do it now. And the sooner you're back, the better, and get out of Buffalo. Like, that's still where I'm at with it, but God knows what he's thinking or what his agent's thinking or what the fucking Sabres are thinking. Who knows?
Yeah, this is just a disaster. I feel like, at this point, I just want the guy to, get healthy and, get out of there. I mean, I completely agree with you, Mac. It's obviously not the right fit. Get yourself healthy, get yourself in a position to be the player we can be, and suit up for Team USA, please.
Yeah, that also, it sucks. The dude is like only getting older and he's a world-class talent. It sucks like missing more time to see him be as good as he can be, right? Because I mean, let's say for a second he decides to just like play another season in Buffalo and like put the surgery off or whatever. We know he's not going to be like at full caliber 100%, like as good as Jack Eichel can be, and it's just like, you hate to waste somebody's prime years like that. So
yep. Speaking of prime years, no, I'm just kidding. I'll actually give this next news segment to you guys as the Caps fans.
Yeah, Big Z is heading back where everything started for him, back to the Islanders. If you don't recall this, because you may have not been born when this happened, the Islanders did actually draft Chara, and I forget exactly what move ended up moving him out of there, but they did draft him and he's going back there. I think it's a 1-year deal. I don't know what the term or what the price was, but good to see him
mentioned.
Yeah, good to see him getting another year in there. I mean, I hate that it's to a Metro Division opponent, but it's just how every free agent signing goes for us. So
it really sucks that we're going to have to play against this guy like 6+ times a year at this point, or, who knows if this will be a multi-year thing, but at least 6+ times this year. But yeah, like you said, I mean, got to be happy for the guy. It's kind of a cool full circle moment too. I don't know if you guys saw, but the year he debuted for the Islanders, Barzal was not born yet.
Yep.
That's nuts.
It was 97, right?
It's either 97 or 98. It's one of the two.
Sounds about right. I believe also the trajectory was he was drafted by the Islanders, played there briefly, ended up in Ottawa somehow, right?
Hmm.
And then from Ottawa to Boston, and then Boston eventually to
I
Washington.
think so.
So what this is, he's been on 4 teams his whole career, I believe, which is, I'd say, still a relatively small number, especially when you consider he did not play that many games for the Islanders, or really all that many for the Senators.
I
When you
mean,
can,
15 years with the Bruins.
yeah, I was gonna say, when you consider how many years he played with the Bruins, everything else is minuscule. So, but yeah,
Right.
world class hockey player, legend. Sucks that we got to play against him, but hats off to the guy.
Yeah.
And from one veteran to another, Travis Zajac announced that he's retiring after 15 pro seasons. Spent all of them with the Devils except for this past half season with the New York Islanders. A guy who, when you think about it, like, no one ever talked about him. He was on some really good Jersey teams. Never got the Stanley Cup, which kind of sucks for him because he was just, he got there after the Devils had their dynasty. But one of the best two-way centers for a long time in the league, the longest tenured Devil for the last 15 seasons. So, he's going to be missed in New Jersey, even though he already got traded. But the first season in 15 years where he's not going to be there opening night, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah. I mean, hats off. Great career.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can you say? The guy was a workhorse for the better part of, the last decade. So
I think I mentioned it to you guys at one point, but I was lucky enough to see this guy play in a couple different playoff games when the Caps kind of sucked, and my dad and I used to go and see the Devils play sometimes. But yeah, absolute legend, totally fun to watch. Congrats on a great career.
Kind of like that last guy left from that, Gomez, Langenbrunner, Elias, Brodeur era. He was still there when they were all there. So,
man, that was a fun time too. Like that, I credit that Devils team for being one of the teams that got me like really into like watching hockey on TV. Like when I was a young kid and stuff, I thought Brodeur and all those guys were just legends.
despite the fact that they played like the most boring style of hockey, like 1-0, 2-1, like
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, as a kid, I didn't.
But
know
it
any
worked.
better. I was just like, go
Yeah.
hockey.
and then another veteran, again, Marc-Andre Fleury comes out on the NHL media tour, which is going on in Chicago right now. And, kind of hinted at that this may be his last season in the league. We're not totally sure yet. Quote, could be his last. So if it is, damn, what a run. What a great career. I mean, you probably couldn't spin it any better than it's gone for him so far. I hope it's not, selfishly. I love having him in the game. I think he's good for the game. It's kind of weird to say that he might retire after he just won the Vezina as the best goalie in the league because he clearly has gas in the tank.
What's his contract? Do you know off the top of your head? Like, does he have like a year left or 2 years left or anything like that?
I'll look it up real quick.
Okay, because I will say, I mean, yeah, congrats to the dude if it is his last, even if it's not. What a hell of a career he's had so far.
Seriously.
However, I'm still hearing rumors every day that he's going to retire a Penguin. So,
He is. He's going to.
Whether that's like a thing that we just saw with who was that just David Backus, right? That just signed the like 1-day deal just to do that. Whether it's something like that or whether he actually says, fuck it, I'll do one more year and actually suit up for the Pens. I guess that'll also depend on like what the hell happens with Jari this year. If he has another like shit year, I could see Fleury being like, fuck it, I'll do 1 year for the Pens.
This is his last year in his contract.
Okay.
So
yeah,
he's going to be a free agent.
You could see it though. You could see the Penguins being like, hey, you want to sign on for like 1 year at like, name your price basically. And he wouldn't be a dick and like make it expensive either. He'd be like, give me like, 4 million or some shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel that.
No, but I mean, hey, if that's it, I mean, dude's had one of the best careers that you could imagine as a goaltender. So hats off to him.
Yeah, for sure. I think that wraps it up for news for us. Nick, you got a word for us before we get to Zach?
I do. While summer may be winding down, I don't think that doesn't mean you guys shouldn't still be having fun. So if you're looking to finance that new boat or yacht you've always dreamed of, the Yacht Lender is a specialist in marine finance and has the deal for you. With partnerships with 15 different banks, he is the right lender for whatever vessel you may be in the market for. Backed by Trident Funding with over 25 years as an industry leader, the Yacht Lender has the expertise and know-how to finance the boat of your dreams. Don't wait. Apply today at yachtlender.com or check him out on Instagram at yachtlender to see others who have already gotten out on the water. I think it's about time to throw it off to Zach Fucale, so we're going to toss it over to him right now. All right, everyone. Well, it's now a big pleasure of ours to welcome back basically the guy that started it all. I don't know if he knows this, but yeah, it's Zach Fucale. He's back. We were just catching up with him, talking about some crazy shenanigans that he's been into lately. But how have you been as of recent, man? What's been going on? How's life been treating you?
Oh, life's great, man. Thanks for having me. I didn't start this. You guys started it. I was maybe one of the first guests, but man, it's an honor to be back. What I've been up to lately, a lot of stuff, man. Kayaking with the family. My girl and I bought a place up north.
Nice.
Out in the mountains. We're
Nice.
really excited about that. Walking, hiking with the dog. I saw, we were just talking about the high dive kind of experiment we were doing with living Sisu and stuff. Yeah, man, there's lots of stuff. Training, obviously. I sprinkle some training in there, obviously. And going on the ice. We're ramping it up right now on the ice. I'm going on a little bit more goalie sessions, stuff like that. So no, it's going really well, man. It's a great summer. The weather's been pretty great in Montreal as of late. So what about you guys?
We're doing good. I was going to ask where you're at right now, but you're up in Montreal training. Is that basically what you're doing?
Yeah, in Montreal. I train out here a little bit up north, and that's what I do. That's been my routine for the last 12 years. So
So before we get started on, just asking about this past season and what the rest of your summer is going to look like, do want to say Nick is right in that you were our first big guest, and now we're all of a sudden invited to like a charity golf tournament for the Washington Capitals in September. So we appreciate your help.
Come on.
Yeah,
That's great.
That's big. So thank you very much.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Hey, good for you. It's not about me, man. It's all credit to you guys, to be honest.
I appreciate that.
I think that's great. You guys do a good job. Here I am, right? It's all good.
Yeah.
So want to talk a little bit about last season, just because it's been almost 7 months, which is crazy to say since we spoke. It feels like just yesterday. You talk about, you started out in South Carolina, you worked your way up to Hershey and had a great year there. So you want to reflect on, how weird or just the strange 6 months that this season was?
Man, it's weird is a pretty big understatement. It was such a strange season because, first of all, you play against the same teams. Like over and over. We played against 3 teams, and it's just like Lehigh, bingo, Wilkes.
Yeah.
And then for a month we didn't play Wilkes, so then you're just playing the same 2 teams for a month. It was challenging in that regard, but there was some positive too. There was less travel, stuff like that, less strain on the body in general because there's less games. But mentally though, fellas, it was a harder season, I find. A few of us, we were reflecting after the season and stuff, talking about how, there were less games and stuff, but it really felt like we played a full season just because of like the mental workload of like going to the rink every day. While we were on the taxi squad, you had to go to the rink every day. Even if it was 1-2 days off in a row, you had to go to get tested every day. So you never really had that like checkout. Yeah, that full checkout where you just have a day off. And in Hershey, we got tested every second or third day or something like that. But it's still irrelevant because you're always into it and you're always consistently reminded, like, okay, here are the rules: COVID this, COVID that, your mask, your this. It was just tough mentally, and plus you add on to that you're playing the same teams over and over. It was a challenging year, honestly, but we did pretty well. I am gonna say that. With Hershey, it was a real fun year. We still managed to have a hell of a time, and I'm happy about that.
What was the taxi squad dynamic like? Were you guys like practicing just yourselves together? Were you practicing with the Caps? Like, how did that all work out?
We didn't, in terms of the taxi squad, it really depended on the scheduling, because sometimes there were games that were close together and then there were optional skates for the team. So sometimes some of us on the taxi squad would hop in the last 15 minutes.
Okay.
And sometimes it was just exclusively after practice.
Gotcha.
After the team practice, it was separated. So during the season, it was like that. It was a little bit, sometimes I skated with the team, but I didn't actually skate with the team because I was just there. Let's say VTech needed a break,
right,
which meant he didn't take a break. So I was just basically watching practice from there. So from the ice. So sometimes it was like that, but I just had to just roll with the punches, go with the flow. And that's kind of what the taxi squad was like for us this year, except the playoffs where it was completely separate, where we didn't even see the team, because I think that was it was more of a like liability type thing, because they didn't want to have us interact with the team. Let's say one of us test positive or something because of a taxi squad member or a black ace. That would have been terrible. Can you imagine that? So I feel like they really separated us. Like we were never at the rink at the same time as they were during that round in the playoffs.
Gotcha.
I think you and Phoenix, didn't you guys win an award for, it's like the equivalent to like the Jennings Trophy in the NHL, but for the AHL? Am I correct in saying that?
Yep. I mean, for what it's worth, for the 30-something games we played, we did win that. Yeah.
What's your relationship like with him?
Great, honestly. It was one of the positive sides is that we had such a great relationship. We took up archery together this year. We went to buy our bows. We would hang out with the guys that we lived at the Residence Inn. We stayed at the little spot close by with all the guys. We were neighbors basically, and we would do fires at night and barbecue. Cops is like me, he's a big barbecue guy, so we would barbecue every couple days here and there. And on Sundays, on our day off, we would have the routine where like after the game, well, no, not after the game, day off, because the game would be in the afternoon, and then we would have time to just go grab some steaks and just barbecue and enjoy the rest of the day, since it was an afternoon game. So no, we had a great relationship and everything's great.
What was the team dynamic like this year?
What do you mean by that?
Just with the Bears and, sort of transitioning, being, starting down in South Carolina, coming up to the taxi squad and then being in Hershey. How was that?
It's funny. I don't really ever have a problem with anybody. Like
You're a pretty personable guy.
I don't know. I mean, I'm loud, man. I'm talking and usually I come to the rink and I'm smiling all the time. I'm happy to be there. And it's true. I'm not one of those guys that's just there to make a paycheck and go home. Like I just love to be at the rink, and I think it kind of shows when I'm out there. Like I'm loud, I'm laughing, I'm making jokes. Usually I'm laughing at someone, and that kind of all in good fun. It's really all in good fun. So I've never really had an issue with any of the guys on the team. Maybe they have an issue with me. They didn't tell me. But in general,
like their problem.
I had a lot of fun. Yeah, in general, I had a lot of fun, and that's usually the story of my season. I just have fun with whoever the teammates are.
So I want to ask you, because since I've started, following your brand and what you're doing over the season, it seems like you're real big into the diet and nutrition game, and you're a big meat believer. It's kind of what I'm.
Yes,
so
I am.
What's your science? I know you're just talking about steaks and stuff. Like on a game day, are you hammering meats, or is that like a recovery day? Talk about that a little bit.
Okay. So look, I'm not gonna lie. I do eat quite a bit of meat. I have been following for the last 18 months, a year and a half, carnivore diet, and it's worked really well for me. It's worked really well for me. My performance has been pretty good. If I can say that. And
you're allowed to say that.
It's been very good. And compared to the other years, I feel really good, feel much better. My recovery is faster. My pregame meal consists of 2 ribeyes in the last year. So it's fun.
Wow.
It makes it easy.
So when you say carnivore, is it like you can't have carbs? Is that?
Well, see, it's funny because I can have carbs, I'm allowed, but I just don't. Everyone's allowed.
No, I'm just interested.
Personally, I don't do it 100%. I'll have ice cream. I'm not a psycho. I'll have ice cream, and I'll. But one thing I haven't had in about a year and a half is vegetables. I haven't died yet, so I'll continue to do that.
Me neither, not by choice, just because
No, because I saw Joe Rogan did the carnivore for a month, and he dropped I think 10 or 12 pounds. So when I saw you were doing that, I was interested to see what your feedback was. Sounds like you feel really good though.
No, I do. I feel really good, and I didn't do it to lose weight. I don't have a weight problem. Pretty skinny guy. But I did it honestly I did have some I skin stuff, and sleeping was harder for a while. And I don't know, I was just, there were some things that I wanted to fix, like some gut issues, stuff like that. And then once I did try that, I just felt so good that I didn't want to stop, and I just kept getting better at it. And then you lose a little body fat, you gain muscle, and you're like, okay, man, I could really go with this longer term. And a year and a half in, I don't feel like I'm going to stop. There were some times where I kind of, I got off a little bit, but you just come right back at it. It's simple, right? It's meat and eggs and whatever animal stuff. So
It's
my
interesting.
laptop was dying, so I just ordered myself a, thank you, Brew. Thanks, bro. Go ahead, fellas, please.
No,
It's
you're good.
interesting you say that. A lot of guys, especially in the hockey world, have talked about like George Laraque has come out and I think he's like completely vegan now and has been for like the last like 5 or 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. Talking about how it's really all about just finding that balance for yourself, like what combination of stuff is going to make you feel the best within yourself. So it seems like you found that, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm with you. And just for the record, I am carnivore now, but I was vegan as well, which is nuts because I was vegan 2.5 years ago or so. And it's funny, in my family, it's a running joke because they never know what I'm going to do next. Because I tried everything. And if you go to a bookstore and you look up, you see all the books for nutrition and stuff, it's the high chance I've read them. I've read a lot on nutrition and the science behind it and stuff. And I tried vegan. I did it for a while. It didn't work for me. It's just didn't. And so then I did them all, man. Keto, paleo. I did them all. Trust me. I can't emphasize that enough. And once I've been doing this, I don't want to do anything else just because it feels great.
Good.
Nice. One guy I want to ask you about in Hershey, just for all the Caps fans listening, which will probably be the predominant portion of the listeners. What's Connor McMichael? He's kind of a big name that's coming up in the Cap system. Some buzz that he's going to get up in the lineup this year. What was your experience like being his teammate and playing with him in practice every day?
It's a good guy, funny guy, like he's young and he just came in and you saw it, man. He's got lots of skill. He came in and some games he just took over. So it's good to see from a young guy like that, but it's always a learning curve. You come in, you play great. Most times when you're young, you come in, you got confidence. You're really kind of, how can I say that? You're like, you don't know what's going on. So you're just playing and he had a great season and you could see the potential, but it's a learning curve. He's got lots to learn to make it all the way, I feel. And that's not that's negative. It's honestly a great thing. He did so well for us. And, I feel like he could take a big step next year, You guys see that too? Like he could definitely take a big step.
No,
absolutely.
For sure. And, with free agency and everything coming up in like 2 days, it's going to be quite the party to see what goes on with the roster moves.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement. And I mean, when you have a guy he's 19 and he had such a good year like that, he's going to be 20. That's good for our whole organization, I guess.
I think there's a lot of guys on that Hershey team from last year that for a number of reasons have a chance to crack that Capitals lineup, especially depending on what they end up doing with free agency, and yourself included. I mean, you're coming off a really good year. I am curious, is there anything specific? You talked about your diet a little bit, but you also talked about this being such a mentally taxing season. And is there anything that you kind of attribute your success this year to? Like what made you feel so comfortable just to kind of go out there and perform the way you did?
I think we talked a little bit about this on the last time I was on, but it's a great question because of the year, how it was, you needed to have a system in place to be consistent. And for me, that's a key in the way I play. And I don't know if it's because I'm a goalie, but I really trusted some like core fundamental things in my game that I just redid over and over and over because there was so much uncertainty. Like, honestly, guys, you could go to morning skate and prepare and feel like you're going to play and it's going to be great. And then you get a call and the game's canceled. Like, that's a terrible feeling, like you did everything you need to do. And then it's canceled. And it's like that. But that was the nature of this year and this season. And sometimes sometimes in hockey and sports, that's how it goes. But for me personally, what do I attribute how it went this year? It was just simplifying everything I did, and just repeating my process, my little system that I call for playing goalie, how I play. And I just redid it over and over. I feel like that's made me consistent. And it's not so much as what I do all the time, but it's also what I eliminated from my like routine. You know, there was so much that I would do 3, 4, 5 years ago that right now I know it doesn't make that big of a difference. So I focus on the things that will actually be the bread and butter, and I just redo those things. That's what I call my little system, basically, if that kind of makes sense to you.
Are there any specifics that you removed? Like, maybe it's checking your phone too much, or I don't know. Like, what is there anything specific?
Well, if there's anything specific, yeah, I mean, in game, like in game, there's aspects of like goaltending that are a little bit more technical or something like that I would just always put my focus on a lot. And just by saying that, it just took my focus on the real important things that I should be focusing on. I'll give you an example. If I know I'm going to get at least 90% of the saves with just 3 things, okay, well, why would I do more than those 3 things? You know what I mean? Like, why would I add more? Like, why? Like, there's no valid reason. It's not because I'll think about 6 specific things in my game that I'm going to be better. Maybe it's going to make me worse because I'm kind of spread out all over the place. And maybe that was my issue when I was a little bit younger. I was so eager to like learn more and do more and add more to my game. And okay, but I got to learn this. He did it that way, so I got to do that. At the end of the day, like it's all like smoke, just focus on what really makes you successful. And I'm not just saying that to say like, oh, dude, what, like for me, it was 3, 4 things that I just repeat. Like that's all I do, man. And it's really by making it simple, by focusing on those little things, simplifies, it eliminates all the stupid mistakes I would do in the past. And that's what's specific about what I changed, is just I eliminated all the stupid shit around that I would focus on that doesn't really give me results.
Those are powerful words, especially for, I know we got a couple goalies listening that probably don't have access to like sports psychology or things behind that. I think that'll resonate with a lot of people. So that's pretty powerful. Less serious note. Have you been to Hershey Park?
I have in the past, and don't laugh at me because this year I didn't go. I didn't go this year, but I went my first year in pro hockey, which was 6 years ago. One of our first road trips was in Hershey when I was with St. John's, with the St. John's Ice Caps, and we went, and it was sick. So like I don't doubt that I'll be back there in the future, but it was 6 months.
Yeah, Hershey Park's a good time. I have a lot of memories from being a kid going there. But honestly, I'm curious too what you think of the Giant Center. I've always thought that was kind of a cool venue going to when I was young.
A great building.
A lot of Bears games when I was in.
Well, it's one of the best, guys. Yeah. No secret there. It's one of the best in the AHL. There are teams that play in their NHL club spot, but there's not many like Hershey, the Giant Center, because it's almost full every night. So it is one of those destinations that when you go play in Hershey, people appreciate that all the players know that it's going to be a fun game, just because the Giant Centers usually have a lot of people in it, and good building is fun. It's fun to play in.
I've always thought there's something cool too about the fact that like Hershey Park and the Hershey Bears are sort of all tied together as like one organization. And like you go to Hershey Park, you're going to see like Bears stuff there. Or there was even there was a promotion when I was younger where we would go every year to this one Bears game where they'd give you like free Hershey Park vouchers or something like that. And you get to go to a game and Hershey Park in the same weekend or whatever. It's just cool, cool organization. And they have cool chocolate brown uniforms too. So
you guys got some of the best unis in the business. I love them.
It's not bad. And I was lucky this year. I got to go ahead to make some gear that matched. So I thought that was pretty cool that I got some gear matching the AHL colors. I don't know if I'll do that again this year, but I guess we'll wait and see.
Did you do anything interesting with your helmet design this past year for Hershey or for the area?
I did. I had a design done, which I'll probably use the same for AHL there. But usually you get a fresh helmet with a fresh NHL paint job.
Talk about what's going on with Sisu right now, and maybe for those who are listening and haven't heard your first interview with us yet, maybe bring them up to speed on what you do with them. You're obviously you own the brand, I believe, right? Is what you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, Living Sisu, right? For people that don't know what it's about, we're basically it's a sports community that aims to make sports more accessible to more people. We have over 9,500 partners now that we're basically adding new partners every week to make sports more financially kind of accessible. And on our website, if you sign up, it's free and you get a bunch of special offers from our partners. But that's just one little aspect of Living Sisu, because we're developing right now, which I can't really talk about 100%, but we're developing right now a platform for people to connect way more with athletes, create like communities, smaller communities. And it's going to be great, man. I'm really excited about that. But in the end, it's really about the Sisu Principles, which is determination, actually relentless determination, tenacity, guts, grit, perseverance. That's what Sisu is in the Finnish kind of culture. And I just love that word, man. It helps you push your limits. It's really all that inner strength that's inside. So yeah, sports community, we're having a lot of fun with it. And this summer we're just creating some challenges for us to just push our limits as a community. So it's fun. I encourage people to follow us, and they're going to see, by following us on Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that, they'll be able to see the new kind of release we're going to have in the next few weeks and months. It's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things from following your social media that I've seen is all the other athletes that you guys have been able to, have on your podcast or have on your platform. You were just with that Olympic diver. You had one of the Montreal Alouettes come on. I mean, that's so cool. What's it been like to be able to get to know these kind of people and swap stories like that?
Yeah, it's funny because right now, like you guys invited me on your podcast, but with Living Sisu, I get to do the opposite. I get to invite people and I get to interview people as well. And I think that's cool. It's a different little dimension of what I do. And it's not just like me personally as Fucale that this is, but it's through Living Sisu, the whole sports community. So we talk about Lisanne Richard, which is the high diver, but she has a really interesting story to tell. She was on the podcast. It was in French, so we do our podcast in both languages. And yeah, I mean, I do Instagram lives to talk with different athletes, but talk about their story through resilience, their story with adversity. And that's what the Sisu community and the principles are about is, hey, look, everybody's going to go through tough patches, tough shit, tough seasons, tough times in life. So we're all going to go through it. So you tell me your story. Maybe it's going to help somebody else. That's our whole kind of mindset behind it, because no matter, this is what we say a lot within, like internally, is no matter who you are, what sport you play and what level you're at, you're going to face adversity. You're going to face a wall.
Absolutely.
You're going to hit something eventually. It's inevitable. It's not being negative. It's just real life, man. Life is tough sometimes. Yeah. So we created that community to share information about, hey, look, like we all go through tough stuff. Share me your story and let's push through together. Let's push through as a community. And with that determination, that resilience, that inner strength, we'll all be better. And that's what sports is all about. We all learn through stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's powerful words. And I think it's easy to forget, especially nowadays. And, just with social media, I think sometimes you can think like, wow, well, nothing's ever supposed to be wrong. But like, it's cool that you're bringing it out that like, hey, people go through tough shit, and it's part of life. And that's, not everything that you see on Instagram or Twitter of, people taking vacations and stuff. So I think that's good. I think that's good stuff, especially for younger people.
I think it's really important to talk about because like you said, we're all used to seeing the best parts of everybody's lives now. But I'll tell you what, before I was with Living Sisu, before we started this, like I went through some like really dark times when I was just starting out in pro. It really
touched on that,
for me. Yeah, we talked about this.
You went with your dad on a trip, right?
And it was really a turning point for me, man. But a lot of things like that. And I continue to do that. But the more I push myself to go through tough stuff, like the other day we went high diving. That was the scariest thing I've ever done. It builds confidence. It builds you. It makes you go realize what's really in there. You know what I mean? I didn't know that I was that scared of heights, but trust me, at 10 meters jumping in water, it was a challenge. So it's cool that the Living Sisu community is coming together like that, because we're creating people that want to face some adversity head on. And we we have a lot of people involved right now. It's great.
Yeah, I think one of the best things about that, like you mentioned, is just making sports accessible. We talked about it last time. Hockey's one of those sports that, especially now with, kids getting, specific trainers and coaches, and like 10 and 11-year-olds have power skating coaches and stuff like that. It's getting more and more difficult. And that's before you even get to equipment. So, I think that's one of the best things about what you guys are doing is just making it more accessible for everyone, because this game is for everyone. So it's important
100%. And we talk about hockey, but every single sport, you got something different to learn. And you could talk to any athlete across any sport. They're going to tell you sports is school of life, man. Is that right? Yeah. School of life. Sorry, I'm French, guys. Come on, give me a break. But it's the school of life. You learn everything here, man. Teamwork, adversity, coaching, like to be well coached. Like you learn persistence, discipline, winning, losing. Like you learn everything you need in life and sports, man. That's why I love it so much. And I want to be involved in so many different sports just because you get to learn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Little NHL talk just for a second. Something that we saw, I think, a little bit before this season is it started to seem like maybe things were shifting towards this 2 goalie system that people have been talking about. You got tandems with, with Dallas going to the finals and Khudobin was coming up. But this season, it was, the 2 arguably best goalies in the world going head to head in the finals. Especially, you being from Quebec and Montreal going to the finals. Do you have any thoughts on just like, what you saw out of, Vasilevsky and Price this postseason? And were you in Montreal when they were in the finals?
Yeah, I was here. I don't think I'm saying anything new when I said like these guys were absolutely elite this offseason. Like they were just on top of it, on top of their game. And that's as good as we've seen Price or Vasilevsky ever.
Yeah.
And that was awesome to see as a goalie. I think that's really dope. And it kind of raises the bar for everybody else. You know what I mean? It kind of raises the bar. You see guys play like that in the finals like that when the lights are shining. It's great. It's motivating, to be honest. I love to watch the playoffs just because it is motivating. We want to be in that situation. Every single guy that plays hockey wants to be triple overtime game 7 of Stanley Cup final. Everybody wants to be there. So it was motivating for me to see that level of play, and it just made me go back to work and back to the drawing board and keep building.
What was the atmosphere like in Montreal?
It was strange, man, because it was a mixture of like everybody's losing it, like so excited, but also there were people that were mad because every time they'd win, there'd be some like riots and stuff in the city. So it was like, what's going to happen if we win?
Right. Yeah.
So there was almost like everybody was like obviously super excited. Everybody's family's like on top of the clouds. And that's totally normal. I haven't been there in so long. But also there was an aspect of like, oh shit, man, we're destroying the city. Like, this is not good. There was a lot of people that were mad about it, and with reason. But it was a mixture of those things. But mainly 99% of that was excitement and just like on top of the clouds type of feeling.
Yeah, the shots outside the Bell Center with the crowd were just incredible.
It was sick.
Yeah, I would have paid like a ticket price just to be there.
Just to be outside.
Just to be outside.
There are a lot of people mad about that.
Yeah, and then the ticket price is inside. Oh my God.
Yeah,
that was wild.
Yeah.
A few of them went for a few thousand.
Yeah.
Just some specifics going into next season, with Vanacek going to Seattle, now it seems like, the Caps goalie situation, who knows, but is there anything specific that you are going to work on this offseason that you want to like, tailor towards as we get closer to training camp?
To be honest with you, there's not one specific thing that I feel I need. I feel like I'm there, like I can play. I feel like I'm not missing a lot. Like I was telling you guys a little bit earlier, I really believe in my core values of my system as a goalie. And I've been around NHL clubs and players and shooters and stuff to know like what it takes to stop pucks at that level. I know what it's like. I just all I have to do is get the timing down, and whenever my chance does arrive, that I'm ready for it, and mentally that I'm ready. I don't think it's a physical kind of thing. I think there's a lot of goalies in the world that are physically capable of playing in the NHL. That's no secret, and I think I'm in that as well. I just feel like it's a mental game that when the lights are on, you better be ready for your shot, because it's very rare you get a second shot. And actually, I say it's very rare. You don't get many. Let me just say that you don't get many second chances. So for me, it's just a matter of what am I going to do to get ready for camp. It's a matter of believing in my system and being mentally ready when that chance comes, and that's it. I really believe that's how close I am to being capable of staying up there.
No, and you sound like you're in an excellent place mentally and prepared for all of that. And I've been defending your brand online for anyone who's asking about Cap's goalie situation. I'm like, Zach. So I'll protect it till the cows come home.
Well, yeah. I mean, I appreciate the fact that you say you're protecting me, but hey, look, there's so many things that can happen, right? There's one thing I do know in pro sports, though. Like we talked about my past experiences with other teams and stuff in the previous podcast we had, but there's one thing I know: it changes very quickly. And there could be 1-2 signatures in the next few days that, we're talking right now. Okay. It's July 26th, but in the next few days, there could be signings that, catch everyone off guard, and that's it. And that's just part of it. And it's out of our control. So my mindset, it stays the same. VTech's going to have a great opportunity in Seattle, but who knows what will happen here with the Caps? It might be a couple goalies coming in. Who knows? Yeah. So for me, my mindset doesn't change. And at the end of the day, I just know I won't be surprised, because I've seen a lot of different things change in my 6-7 years in pro hockey. It's not that long, but I just know that it changes very quickly. You got to stay even keeled. If you get too excited, you think it's your chance, just wait. Just wait till it comes before you get excited, and just stay ready. So for me, my mindset doesn't really change. I'm going to be ready, trust my ability. And when the time comes, in my mind, I just got to be ready. That's it.
It's a great mentality to have. I'm also curious, we mentioned the expansion draft a little bit, and this question might be kind of tough to answer, but I am curious, if there's any way you can just kind of fathom what it would be like to get selected and suddenly have to move, like to put yourself in VTech's shoes for a second, what it would be like to suddenly get selected by a brand new team and be kind of shipped across the country as a goalie, and just all that uncertainty that comes with that.
Oh man. To be honest with you, brother, I can't really imagine that feeling. I don't know. I think that's tough. It really is. He had a great year, obviously, like, took everybody by surprise. He had a great year. And what I am thinking about, though, like with his draft, like, it's quite the honor. You got a fresh team. They could choose. They have so many choices. Like, if you look at the goalies that were available, they had some serious candidates for that job, and they picked VTech, and that's credit to him.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, like, positively, like, that's fantastic opportunity for him. And
that's a good point. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. There's one thing one of the GMs that I was in the organization I was part of would always say is, you only get one chance at a first impression, and that's very true.
It is.
You only get one chance at those. And I think for Seattle, a lot of the guys will be their first impression with a brand new organization, brand new people, brand new scouts, brand new GMs, brand new coaching staff, brand new everything. So I think it's a great opportunity for him. So yeah, it's tough to move. It's going pretty far out west compared to where he was. But I think it's a great opportunity. There's a lot of positive stuff can come out of that.
Do you guys have a date for training camp yet or anything? Do you know your plans? Or are you still sort of
I don't
waiting?
know if there's anything like that's fixed yet.
Okay.
I've heard a few rumblings.
Gotcha.
But even if I set a date right now, I don't even know. Like,
it'll change 2 more times before the season.
Honestly, most likely it will change.
Yeah.
So that being said, do you have any other plans lined up for the rest of the summer, or just going to be taking it easy and heading back into training?
For me, it's just right now, it's going to be August. So that's where you get a lot more serious in that last month. Those 4 weeks are huge. You get a lot of progress there on the ice, maybe go on 3-4 times a week. I know I'll be doing some video with the goalie coaches here and there, talking about some minor improvements to make. And what else, man? Just training hard, spending time with my family, because it's a long season coming up.
Yeah.
Spend some time in the woods with my dog, and
Nice.
that's it, man. Just
Yeah.
take some fresh air.
Yeah,
That's
the
me.
kayaking you were doing today looked incredible. Where was that?
We did that on last Friday.
Oh, okay.
But we go a couple times a summer anyway up there. It's that's actually in Valdade. That's where I bought a place with my girlfriend. So
Nice. That's beautiful.
it's just a beautiful place. Her and I are great big outdoors people. I'm outside all the time. Sometimes I get to the gym and the guys are like, "How come you're so tan?" But I'm just I don't know. I'm just outside all the time. Sorry.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's it, man. We're just enjoying some fresh air.
Good.
I think that's all we got for you. We appreciate you coming back on. I know it's been a little bit since we spoke, and we really are rooting for you. I'm excited for the season. I'm excited for you. We'll probably get more excited than you, honestly. So don't be surprised.
No, I'm always excited about a new season. It's great, man. Just going to a training camp is exciting. There's always some, like we were talking about, there's a lot of uncertainty and stuff. All you got to do, put your head down and do some work. And that's exciting to me. And we'll see what happens. Next couple of days, free agency, stuff like that. We'll see what happens. And that's it. Guys, appreciate you.
Yeah. Fortunately for us, Hershey's not too far away. So whether it's seeing you in Hershey or DC, I'm sure we'll be out to a game at some point.
Beauty. All right. Well, let me know. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
For sure. Thanks.
Thanks for coming.
Big thanks to Zach for chatting with us again. Always good to catch up with him. That dude he's just one of the best guys out there. So always a good time to catch up with him and see how he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Wishing him the best of luck in training camp here. And, with any luck, he'll get a crack up at the lineup this season. I know he's been working hard, and he talked a lot about the mental steps that he's been taking to really push his game to the next level. And, he's been through a lot, and he's got the talent. I'll say that. I mean, when you're as high of a draft
absolutely
pick
does.
When you're as high of a draft pick as he was, he's very capable of doing this. So we're wishing him the best of luck. And as always, we appreciate having him on, and we'll probably have him on again in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks, Zach.
Anything else before we wrap up here, boys?
No, I would say that I think this is probably the start of our weekly recordings coming back. So we're not going MIA anymore. We're going to have division previews coming up before the season gets rocking. Be on the lookout for some announcements for opening night. We're working on some stuff. I'll leave it at that. But when we find out for sure what we're able to do, be on the lookout on our Instagram.
I got to say, boys, I'm excited. I've got like butterflies in my stomach. Hockey season's pretty much back. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
it is.
I can't wait.
It's the best time of year. And, when it blends with football, just like you said with the question of the day, we get so spoiled. So,
yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Well, good job. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And without further ado,
Class dismissed.